Hello, 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 and welcome back to the Legal Tea Podcast, where we talk about pop culture but from a legal view. We have a good one for you, so let's get started. Today's episode is all about pettiness, okay? So apparently, there's been some back and forth between 50 Cent, the rapper, and what's her name? Teairra Marie. She's on Love and Hip Hop. She's like a Love and Hip Hop personality. I think she had a song. I think I remember her from like way back in the day. I don't remember her for anything current. But recently, she dropped a diss track, if you will, and it's aimed at 50. And this all came about because of a lawsuit she filed way back in the day. Well, I don't know, maybe like last year, year before. She filed a lawsuit against 50 Cent and her ex-boyfriend for posting a clip of a sex tape on Instagram. 50 Cent did, and she said it was revenge porn. The court said no, it was not, and she was ordered to pay 50 Cent $30,000 in legal fees, and that was back in January of this year, and she still hadn't done it. So I know that in March he served her at the airport with papers basically saying, I need my money. He's been throwing hints out on social media, and so in reference to that, she dropped this song, and it's called I Ain't Got It. And she dropped that maybe, I think, April 7th, on April 7th. So listen, that $30,000 is not all she ain't got, because 50 Cent is the king of all pettiness, right? The king of all pettiness. And on April 9th, he filed an intent to use application for She Ain't Got It. And on April 10th, he filed two more applications. One for I Ain't Got It Fifth, F-I-F, and the other one for I Ain't Got It 50. How smooth is that, right? How sway, as my child would say. How sway. And in addition to that, he also bought the domain name, right? He was on it. You can't be slipping. That's why you gotta have a whole plan and launch when you get ready to release them. Matter of fact, take notes from Queen B, because today she dropped the Netflix special. In addition to the Netflix special, the album came out, right? And I'm sure there's a whole bunch of paraphernalia around that. But she was ready. You're not gonna catch her slipping. Now you gotta be quicker than that, right? So listen. Even though 50 is known as the king of petty, he is not the first person to file a trademark application in an act of pettiness, if you will. In 2017, let me think. In 2017, I wrote a blog post about someone on Instagram. Her name is Sabrina Peterson of Glam University. At that time, she took to Instagram to let somebody that she was having some beef with or crossed her the wrong way. She let them know that she had filed federal trademark applications for all three of the marks that were associated with that person's brand. 1, 2, 3. Petty, 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 right? So she filed an intent to use application just like 50 Cent did. However, she didn't do anything with it. So she failed to provide proof that she was actually using the marks in commerce. And that's called a statement of use. So when you file an intent to use application, at the end of the process, you have to give them proof that you're actually using the mark in commerce in order for your application to be approved. And like I said, that's called a statement of use. Because she did not file a statement of use, her applications were abandoned. She just spent the money just to be able to say, hey, bam, I got you. I own you. What are you going to do? And then, it died after the application was abandoned. But unlike Peterson, 50 Cent, he took immediate action to use the trademark. Like I said, he bought the domain name. In addition to the trademarks, he bought the domain name, and he has something on it. He has clothing on that. He got all his G Unit and all that apparel and accessories on that website. Right? That is like he was on it. But this is what I want you to know. It's important to know that the purchase of a domain name in and of itself does not constitute trademark use. A lot of people say, when I ask them, how long have you been using this trademark? They say, oh, well, I bought the domain name 5 years ago, but I haven't done anything with it. Well, that doesn't count. And even if you bought the domain name and you're doing something with it, The domain name in and of itself is not trademark use. Think of it this way. The domain name is an address. The domain, when you tell somebody where to go to get your stuff, it doesn't necessarily indicate the source of that stuff. It just says, hey, you can go here to buy this stuff, but it doesn't necessarily indicate the source of it, meaning like you can go to Foot Locker and buy a variety of different shoes. But just because you go to Foot Locker doesn't mean that the shoes in that store are all by Foot Locker, as an example. So that's one thing you need to know. Just because you buy the domain name doesn't necessarily mean you have the trademark. You can use it for a trademark. And so even though 50 Cent has done all that, he has the applications filed, he has the domain, he has things on there, he's still going to have to show that he's using those marks, those proposed marks in commerce as an indicator of a source of a good or a service. And he's not doing that yet, but maybe I'm seeing as fast as he's moving, maybe that's something that he's in the works of doing. Maybe he's going to create a "she ain't got it" line and have a whole bunch of petty stuff under it. I can definitely see him doing that. So listen, I know that when this was shared with me, so a lot of people in the comments saying, oh my goodness, I strive for that level of pettiness. Like, I want to be able to be that petty. For those of you, if that's you, if you're like, man, I want to be that petty one day, this is what you need to know before you act, right? You need to know that when you intentionally file a trademark application with no real bona fide intent to use, that it can cost you. Listen, so when you file this trademark application, you're doing so under oath that the information that you're putting forth is correct and true to the best of your knowledge. And Title 18 of the United States Code, Section 1001, makes willful false statements and the like punishable by fine or imprisonment. So if you go on the application and you intentionally lie, you can go to jail or you can be out some money. So when you're talking about being petty, you got to say, do I really want to be that petty? Do I want to be that petty? So do I want to be Sabrina Peterson petty? Or do I want to be 50 Cent petty? So with Sabrina Peterson, it was clear that the only reason she filed that application was to get back at somebody. She had no intent of doing anything with that mark. She just filed it so that somebody else couldn't do it. Now, nothing happened to her because you're rolling the dice. But do you want to be that level of petty, or do you want to be petty like 50 and actually take the trademark and do something with it and benefit from it? That's where you are. That's where you are. So, our 3 top takeaways, right? Our 3 top takeaways from today's episode. 1, purchasing a domain name does not constitute trademark use. Just because you buy a domain name does not mean you own the trademark for that. The only way you can own a trademark for a domain is if you're actually using it as an indicator. Now, because I have filed URLs as trademarks, but they were using it as a trademark. Like, I don't know. So yeah, maybe and just for an example, I'm trying to think of what the name of the company was. I'm not even going to say it. I just used the legal T as an example. So could say that this podcast or this brunch is sponsored by the legalT.co. Where legalT.co is now being used as the indicator of this service. So that's just takeaway number 1. Takeaway number 2, before your trademark can be approved for registration, you must submit proof that you're actually using that mark in commerce, in interstate commerce. Is that you have to prove that you're using it in commerce. That before, whether you file an in-use application and you file that proof with the initial application, or if you file an intent to use application and you submit that proof later. But at the end of the day, before you get that registered trademark, you're going to have to submit proof that you're actually using it in commerce. So that's takeaway number 2. And takeaway number 3, I want you to keep it and remember it, that willful false statements and things like that are punishable by fine or imprisonment under the United States Code. All right, that's all I have for you. That's it. You guys want to know what my take was on this pettiness and 50 Cent and this Teairra Marie? That's what I have for you. Be careful. If you want to be this level of pettiness, you have to be careful. And I guess if I were to add like a bonus takeaway, act quick, move quick. When you have an idea or something that you want to build a brand on or a business, move and protect that. Some people say, well, wait until you make money. Wait until you make money to protect it. Don't do that. That's a waste of money. It's not, because what really is a waste of money is if you wait and you invest in building this brand and this business, and then you have to rebrand because you didn't protect your stuff. Right? So, yeah. As long as you have a plan, and I don't mean like one of those big old business plans that you're going to take to the bank to get a loan or something. Like if you know what you're doing, who you're doing it for, and how you're going to do it, and you know that this is not just some type of hobby or fad, this is something that you're really going to work at, then get your trademark. File an intent to use application so that you can reserve your name. Your name can be protected as you're getting your business together. That's what I say. If you need help with any of that, if you have questions about trademarks, copyrights, patents, or the like, definitely contact me. You can go to LaConyaMurray.com. Go to LaConyaMurray.com and you can go to the Work With Me tab and you can schedule an appointment. You can also check out our YouTube channel, which is we're on YouTube as LaConya Murray TV, where you can find tons of videos about this stuff. And also, as always, tune in to the Legal Tea, because I'm going to explain it to you. I'm going to break it down using pop culture examples so that it makes sense, right? That's all I have. Make sure you share this. Make sure you subscribe to our podcast and our YouTube channel and rate it. If you heard something that makes you say, hey, that was pretty cool, I didn't know that, or I like the way she made that make sense, let me know. Because if you don't let me know, how will I know? Okay, take care.